Whether by design, fate, or plain old bad luck, some military units of the Second World War were thrown into combat again and again. The fighting men of these units battled their way through multiple campaigns and countries. In this video, we shed light on 5 of these battle-hardened and combat-tested units, focusing on those lesser known or seldom covered. The Italians don't have the best reputation among World War II history buffs, but it's important to note that many of their major military failures were due to issues with supply, not fighting spirit. The Italians had plenty of fighting spirit, and it seems it was concentrated with the Bersaglieri. Bersaglieri were the cream of the Italian infantry corps. Recruits were selected for their above-average height, strength, and physical stamina. Each had to pass a set of grueling fitness challenges, and all were qualified marksmen. It was difficult to earn the coveted capercaillie helmet feathers that marked a Bersaglieri out. And Bersaglieri were so proud of their accomplishment that they wore the feathers on their combat helmets into battle. Small Bersaglieri units were often attached to Italian infantry divisions, but they also fought collectively in elite infantry formations. During the war, 13 individual Bersaglieri regiments saw combat. The most distinguished was the 3rd Bersaglieri Regiment, which fought alongside the Wehrmacht during Operation Barbarossa. This unit was awarded 2 gold medals of military valor, the Italian equivalent to the Medal of Honor or Victoria Cross. The first of these was awarded to the 3rd Bersaglieri Regiment's performance during the invasion of Ukraine. The regiment continually attacked the Soviet rearguard, astounding the enemy with their speed and maneuverability. In the early stages of the campaign, Soviet soldiers often surrendered when they found out they were facing the Bersaglieri, but their tenacity cost the Bersaglieri dearly. Constant fighting whittled away at their number until, by 1943, less than 1/3 of the original Bersaglieri remained. Even in this dire situation, they stayed strong, earning another gold medal for defending against wave after wave of Soviet attacks in the Donetsk region. They fought until they were out of ammunition, then held the Soviets off with bayonets. By the time Italy capitulated, the 3rd Bersaglieri had been fighting for so long it had effectively been destroyed. Just like the Italians, the French army copped a poor reputation after the Second World War, but this was largely due to the failures of just a few leaders. Some French foot sloggers fought across the whole of Western Europe and North Africa, earning themselves a formidable reputation. Chief among them was the French Foreign Legion's 13th Demi-Brigade. The 13th Demi-Brigade was formed in North Africa in early 1940 from French-speaking volunteers of other units. They were first deployed to Norway, where they battled the invading Germans around the frigid ports of Narvik and Bjørkvik. Several soldiers of the 13th distinguished themselves in combat and were awarded the Norwegian War Cross with Sword, Norway's highest award for gallantry. After France fell, the Legionnaires escaped to London and were subsequently sent to Central Africa, where they campaigned to secure the French colonies of West Africa, Equatorial Africa, and Gabon from the Axis. Keeping the Italians on the run, the 13th distinguished itself during the Battle of Keren and was transferred north to fight in the Syria-Lebanon campaign. Their most famous engagement, however, was during the Battle of Bir Hakeim from May to June 1942. Defending the south end of the Allies' Gazala line, the 13th held off determined attacks by Rommel's panzers for weeks without reinforcement. The area around their position was surrounded by so many destroyed vehicles that the Germans could no longer push through, having to rely on infantry. The 13th later landed in the south of France as part of Operation Dragoon and fought for its liberation. Half a world away, in the Pacific Theater, the soldiers of a Japanese unit had earned a reputation as some of Japan's toughest and most experienced warriors. They were the 5th Infantry Division. Before the Pearl Harbor attack, the 5th Infantry Division, otherwise known as the Khoi Division, had been fighting in China for 4 years straight. They began in August 1937, fighting in Operation Chahar against the nationalist Chinese, and later in the Battle of Pingxingguang against the Communists. The 5th Infantry Division also formed the core of the forces sent to invade French Indochina in 1940. The Khoi Division redeployed to Malaya in 1941 to fight the British Indians. Benefiting from significant experience in China, the battle-hardened division crushed the 11th Indian Infantry Division at the Battle of Slim River. 5th Division infantrymen smashed through the Indian offences and pushed 16 miles into the Allied rear, causing an estimated 3,000 casualties. They relentlessly battled southwards, defeating the Australians at the Battle of Muar and clearing the route to Singapore in January 1942. They were chosen as one of the 2 divisions to lead the charge into Singapore and defeated the Australians again, taking the critical Tengah airfield. Now considered one of, if not the most experienced Japanese infantry divisions, the 5th fought in the Philippines and in the New Guinea campaigns. But it was here that they were undone. Suffering badly from malaria and malnourishment, the battle-hardened troops who had survived war in China, Indochina, Malaya, Singapore, and the Philippines now fell in droves, far from home in New Guinea. The remnants continued to fight in Rabaul and Guadalcanal before surrendering on Kerem Island at the end of the war. When Germany blitzkrieged Poland in 1939, the Polish army suffered defeat after defeat, all units except one. The 10th Motorized Cavalry Brigade, commanded by Colonel Maciek, was never defeated in open combat against the Germans and even managed to slow the advance of 2 whole Panzer divisions to a bitter crawl. In the battles of September 1939, the outnumbered 10th Brigade ensured the Germans made no more than 10 kilometers headway per day. But it wasn't to last. The invasion of eastern Poland by the Soviet Union sealed the country's fate, and the 10th Brigade was forced to escape to France. Here, they joined the recreated Polish army and again fought against the invading Germans. They fought hard, but a lack of heavy weapons and the rout of the French troops on their flanks forced them to escape yet again, this time to Scotland. In February 1942, Polish Armoured Corps veterans were organised into a new unit, the 1st Polish Armoured Division. As the most popular and experienced Polish commander around, Maciek was promoted to general and took charge of this rebadged force. He also took delivery of several hundred brand new Sherman and Crusader tanks, the division's workhorses. After 2 years of training, General Maciek led the 1st Armoured Division into combat in Normandy. During the push into France, the 1st had the crucial job of closing the Falaise pocket, enveloping no less than 15 German divisions and 500 panzers in a death trap in western France, thereby opening the way for the Allies to liberate Paris. The 1st Armoured went on to liberate significant portions of Belgium and the Netherlands, where they became folk heroes and where many settled after the war. In 1935, Germany formally renounced the Treaty of Versailles and embarked on an unprecedented rearmament program. 3 Panzer divisions were formed and one, the 3rd, was headquartered in Berlin. Tankers of the Wehrmacht's 3rd Panzer Division fought on the nationalist side in the Spanish Civil War and took part in Germany's Anschluss of Austria. When war broke out in September 1939, the 3rd Panzer Division led the charge into Poland. It comprised 391 tanks, more than any other unit. However, relatively few of these were modern Panzer IVs. Most were the old Panzer Is and IIs. Nevertheless, the 3rd proved its worth in the Polish campaign, fighting in the north against the Pomeranian army. Later, the division fought in Belgium and the invasion of France. But it was on the eastern front that the Wehrmacht 3rd Panzer Division really showed what it could do. While initially fighting as part of Army Group Center, the 3rd was redeployed south to take part in the Battle of Kiev. The Wehrmacht encircled and destroyed no less than 700,000 Soviet troops during this decisive battle, and the Red Army was severely weakened by the loss of some of its most experienced soldiers. The 3rd stayed on the eastern front for the duration of the war. It got as far as Moscow in 1941, but was bogged down with the rest of the Wehrmacht by the winter and rains of 1942. It fought at Kursk in 1943, the largest tank battle in history, where it was defeated and forced to pull back by determined Soviet counterattacks. Fighting a rearguard action through Ukraine, Romania, Poland, and Hungary, the 3rd eventually surrendered to US forces in Austria in 1945. Those were 5 of the most experienced and battle-hardened units of the Second World War, but what do you think? Did you know the Italian Bersaglieri were fighting on the Eastern Front against the Soviets? How do you think African troops of the Foreign Legion coped with fighting in frigid Norway? Which unit do you think had the toughest time? Let us know all that and more in the comments section below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new.